So let me just quickly go to the point. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and the federal government for their continued support and commitment to the Nigeria's industrial growth. Also enacting policy that support the industrialization, such as Nigeria's first policy, Naira for crude policy, one stop for Naira for crude policy, which is the committee implementing that one-stop committee. And also Mr. President's dream of making Nigeria to produce petroleum products rather than exporting crude. And I think we're on the way to achieving that. Bringing great revolution to the downstream sector that has actually emboldened the group to make this major step, which we are making today. Policy of ensuring domestic processing of all crude and exporting only finished petroleum product, which is, I think, a great policy. And if you look at it today, all African countries, all, with no exception, they are actually importers of petroleum products. The one that wasn't importing before was Algeria, but Algeria is importing once in a while, so every single country they import. The federal government was instrumental in mediating our recent disruptions at the refinery linked to union activities and some sabotage attempts. We must also thank His Excellency, the security agencies, NSA, DG, DSS, the DG, NIA, for actually, mediating, this, and of course, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Minister of National Planning, and Minister of Labor. And they all really made an effort, but under the direction of His Excellency, Mr. President. The key announcement today is that we're expanding the Dangote Refinery. We're announcing it officially. We're expanding the Dangote Refinery from our 650,000 barrels per day to 1.4 million barrels per day. Actually, we're even a bit late because we had to sign the agreement with the technology licensor, which we're actually expanding this. We've been doing that meeting since 8 o'clock. So upon completion of this will make it the largest refinery in the world ever. That is surpassing the Jamnagar Reliance Refinery in India. This expansion reflects our confidence in Nigeria's future, our belief in Africa's potential, and our commitment to building energy independence for our continent and the world. It is also about confidence in Nigeria, confidence in the leadership of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, confidence in Africa, and in our capacity to shape our own energy future. Why expansion matters? Of course, it is the dream of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for Nigeria to emerge as one of the major suppliers of petroleum products in Africa and part of the world. And with this strong backing through previous stated policies, we are now taking this challenge to make this happen. Responding to rising regional demand and reducing import dependence. There's quite a lot of demand really within the African region, especially West Africa and East Africa. Saves and generates billions in dollars and strengthen the Nigeria's energy security. With this expansion, we will require over 65,000 workers during the construction. Such a project will actually further unlock opportunities for local industries, just as we did in the last trajectory. Reinforces Africa's capability to build and manage world-class infrastructure. Then technical and economic highlights. We will be expanding our polypropylene production from 900,000 metric tons to 2.4 million metric tons per annum. This will actually enrich the production of also what you call linear alkyl benzene, which is a key ingredient for the production of detergent and additional production of base oil. So we're adding quite a lot of areas. With this expansion also, the refinery transitions from producing Euro 5 to now Euro 6 fuel standards, meeting the highest global environmental benchmark. As you know, the majority of aviation fuel now goes to the US and Europe. Brazil takes quite a few, but we are now trying to do what you call, quite a lot. Winter diesel, we are going to also produce that. We are going to produce Euro 6. So it means that we have a variety of countries to supply our products to. Then the sustainability and also the local content. We are looking at, of course, sorry, I forgot, the expansion of our power generation, which is now 500, so the refinery will now go up to 1,000 megawatts, capacity. So the sustainability and local content, over 85% of our workforce will be Nigerian, with ongoing investment in skills and technology transfer. If you remember the last time when we built the refinery, actually we used over 50,000 Nigerians, and those people that are still around, and I'm sure we're going to recall most of them, and we will now go, with them to, build this second stage of the refinery. Our goal has never been just to refine oil, but to refine opportunities for our people. The opportunities, which is financing, crude sourcing, partnerships. The future plans. Within the next year, we plan to actually list the Dangote Refinery and Petrochemicals Complex shares on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, which is NGX. And that is a step towards broader ownership and market transparency. We are going to list, and we want to give all Nigerians the opportunity of owning part of the refinery. You can buy as many shares as you can, and that means that, yes. Thank you. So, therefore, we are actually, thinking that this refinery should belong to all Nigerians, and I think it is the right time for all of you to put in your savings and make sure you join us in this journey. Our long-term goal remains clear: to build Africa's leading integrated energy and petrochemical hub, the first of its kind on the continent. It has never ever happened where now we can actually refine. And when you look at it today, with other people who have licenses, with other refineries, if they are now going to work, it means that Nigeria can refine its production of crude 100% and export only this. It's not only Nigeria, other countries are doing that, but not exactly like what Mr. President wants to do, which is to refine all our crude. If you look at Saudi Aramco, their own policy is now to take their crude to like South Korea, to Malaysia, to other areas to, refine. So now let's talk about product availability during the Ember month. As we approach the end of the year, Nigerians often face fuel shortages, long queues, and arbitrary price increases that causes great hardship for travelers and businesses alike. In the last 3 days, we have actually seen also a spike of about 8% in the global oil price. But to tell you the truth, with this refinery, you've seen that we've had stable pricing, we've had great quality. The quality is not the same as it used to be. No matter what anybody will say, the quality is totally different than what it used to be. So our goal now is to ensure consistent in product flow at stable prices, eliminating the disruptions and exploitation that have actually become common during the Ember months. For the first time in many years, Nigerians can look forward to a festive season free of fuel anxiety. My own closing remarks is that I want to thank once again Mr. President for his continued support for the downstream sector, which has unlocked and fast-tracked our decisions to make this colossal investment. I want to also thank Mr. President and the federal government, Lagos State government, our host community in Lekki, our financial partners, and our dedicated workforce for making this vision a reality. This expansion is not just about increasing capacity, it's about confidence in our people, in the leadership of our country and our continent. Together, we are building a stronger Nigeria and redefining what it is possible for Africa. Again, Mr. President, we thank you for making all this possible. I call on the holders of the other 30 refining licenses to seize this opportunity to support Mr. President's dream of making Nigeria a refining hub on the continent. When Africa builds its own capacity, it builds its own destiny and its future. So you can actually now, we can go on and, start asking questions. I've done my own, and I want to thank you once more and also apologize for being a bit late.
Would it have been better for you to just pick up one of the moribunds?
Yes, you're right. But buying those refineries now, once we touch them, then you hear a lot of noise. There are other people with a lot of money, maybe more cash than we have, that we believe they should go and try their own luck. So that there won't be talk about monopoly. There will be talk about other people having opportunities. And I think you have a group like the DAPMAN, they should go and buy some of the refineries if they are for sale. If they are not for sale, then they should actually go and put on their own refinery. It's better when you are playing football, it's better for everybody to play football, not somebody playing football, some people playing cricket. So I think it is by far better for other people to go and buy. So we will not be the only ones, supporting this Mr. President's policy. At least there's now support from His Excellency the President, also supporting this sector to, refine all our crude into petroleum products. And I think other people too, they should take this opportunity. For us, we already have our own, infrastructure, and we want to remain where we are, to double our capacity, rather than going somewhere to, this. And plus, we already designed it that way anyway. It's just that, we say, okay, fine, let us start. If the condition, if the condition is, conducive, we go ahead and double our capacity, and that's what we are doing. We're actually more than doubling a bit. We're going to 1.4 million from 650,000. So I think there are 30 people that have, there are 30 people that have this sort of, idea of either working in partnership with the NNPC to revive those refineries, which will help. All of us will have to contribute our own quota to be able to achieve that $1 trillion economy. It doesn't come that easy. So we are doing our own, and I believe other people too, they should do their own. We have a lot of competitors, both internal, external, and co. So I don't want to, release that information at the moment. But we have our own costing, and we know what it will cost us. That's number one. Number two, in terms of, what was the other question? Oh, okay, no, timelines. Let me talk about the single train. Like right now, when, you talk about a single train, there are other departments. For example, now, even when our RFCC is down, for example, we still produce, gasoline. It's not that we are totally off, but we might not produce maybe 40 million, we'll produce maybe 28, 30 million, depending. We have different departments that we can do. The only thing that if our RFCC is down, for example, we cannot produce fully, is the polypropylene. So it's not that the whole plant is down. So what we are trying to do is to replicate another, line. By replicating another line, it has even given us a guarantee because, the current refineries, when you build them, you don't shut them down for maintenance for 5 years. So this one will give us a better security. So even if we are going to shut down for 40 days, it means that at least 50% of the refinery will work. We don't have to service them department by department. Listen, and we don't have to build a port anymore. We already have the port. So it will take us a very short period of time. Design, we have most of it, because we built one before. And then so we only need to do some few other things. These were the things that we did this morning before coming to meet with you guys. Yeah. There is a policy by Mr. President now that this is what his vision is. This is what, so I'm sure the government will not sit back and allow our crude to go. It's like it's like Ghana saying that they want to process all their cocoa. Now you set up a cocoa processing plant to turn the cocoa into raw material of producing chocolate. And now some people are saying that, no, we are going to export. I'm sure things will change. And things are also changing right now with the policy of Mr. President to make sure we, do that. If there's no policy, then you are right. It is an issue. Where now, yes, it will be very difficult. We'll face a bit of challenges, but I think there shouldn't be a problem. And we are doing the refinery to be very flexible also. So getting crude, I'm sure, it won't really be an issue. And when you look at it too, the government is also pushing in terms of expanding their own production. Now we're at about 1.8, so they are targeting to be maybe somewhere around 2.4. So if it's 2.4, we need all hands on deck to be able to achieve Mr. President's, aspirations, because, it is good for us as a country to say, okay, yes, this is where we want to be. And I'm sure being at 2.4 for Nigeria is not difficult because we were there before. So if we are there before, it means that we can easily get back to where we are. It's just a matter of investment. You need to convince people, you need to tell them that, look, this is the new policies that we have, and people will come and invest. There's a lot of money out there that will come and put up these, investments. I think the opening of the PIA, by revisiting the PIA, actually change it will actually help us a lot. There are other areas that, where it allowed the IOCs and maybe the regulator to, tinker with, which I think will help. Right now, with this new presidential support and also the policies, we'll also make sure that, yes, it actually captured that, yes, because it is already in the policy that only crude that cannot be processed in Nigeria should be exported. Okay, so which I think is not being followed aggressively, because they are hiding under, willing buyer, willing seller. Of course, there will be willing buyer, willing seller now, but the willing buyer, willing seller should be the company that's producing here, not a trading company outside Nigeria's shore. So that I think will help. On the listing, I think listing is key, because if you look at it really, here I think people are a little bit scared of maybe stock exchange, where you can go and buy shares. But you see, it is where you create wealth. And we're not listing only a refinery of 1.4 million. No, we're listing a refinery of, that has petrochemicals, that has, other components, which now when you look at it now, you say, okay, fine, what will the revenue be? The revenue, by the time we finish, we get to the real revenue. Our revenue in the refinery with other components of the refinery, you are talking of almost about $55 billion. So it's not really a small company at the end of the day. It's a company that is big, which I think all Nigerians should actually participate. And we want all Nigerians to participate. Even if it means that when we are listing, we are going to sell 20, 30, there's no percentage. We'll put up any amount that Nigerians want to buy, we want to sell down to, Nigerians, so that all of you can be shareholders. We are trying to debottleneck, and this in sometime next year, we should be at the 700,000. And the balance to make it 1.4 will be in 3 years. We are not doing it in phases. It's not several lines, it's one single line again. So by one single line again, we've seen some of the bottlenecks, and where we face those bottlenecks, how we can also increase so that it will start by that 700, not 650. Where people who are always trying to take calculated risk, when we announced the 650, that's why a lot of people, they didn't really even listen to us because they thought we were crazy. It will never happen because the biggest capacity then was 450. And we said, no, we want to do 50% more than that. And we've delivered. We've done so. We've pushed and pushed. And I think by early next year, beginning of next year, we should be at 700. And then it will, take us another 3 years, of which the second line will be ready. And then we will hit the 1.4 million. The strategy is that it depends on your cost of production. And, I don't want to mention the areas, but there are some areas that their production cost now is extremely very, very high. And I'm sure once we come in now, they will give way. And you must have seen that in the last 2 years, there are a couple of refineries that have shut down, right? So I'm sure more will shut down. But in Africa, for example, our demands are going up every single day. And that's why there are other markets that we want to serve. And that's why if you look at it, we're actually, we've been given now an approval by the Namibian government to put up a huge tank farm because we're not putting a refinery there. And then we're now going to supply Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, so that area, and also South Africa, because South Africa, their refineries too are not working. It's only, one. So that's what we're actually, looking at. But in terms of this, if we have followed what you are saying. This same thing that you said, the records were there before we even started building our refinery. But you can see now, our refinery, apart from Nigeria really, for example, I don't even have capacity to serve Angola and Ghana. So there are quite a lot of, this, even though there's a lot of dumping that's happening in Benin, not Togo, that's Lomé. But that doesn't really stop us from doing this. Once the quality change, fine. And we're targeting other areas. The same thing that you talk about, when we designed our refinery, our biggest headache then was actually how do we get rid of aviation fuel. But aviation now is in very, very high demand. You can look at the cracks. The margin on aviation is much higher than ever. So we'll take that risk. We have, very good cash flow. That's number one. We also will list, so part of it, yes, we will. And then also we have 1 or 2 strategic investors that we're actually going to carry along with us. All what is happening right now, we're exporting the crude which is being produced in the African continent and importing finished products. So for once, at least we have something that we are refining and also send it over there. So we can also send poverty to them and, create jobs where we are. So I think that one shouldn't be a problem, Crude supply shouldn't be really an issue. I think you asked me about crude supply, right? No, I think it shouldn't be an issue. Crude supply, we already have worked out our numbers, and I think we're good, with that. There shouldn't be an issue. Your first question was what? Okay, yeah. Was that it's impossible. How can you recruit invested capital? When you build a refinery, in fact, first year, you don't even make money now. So it's not something that you quickly, recoup. It's just that we believe in the current policies that we've seen, and I think it is right for us to refine most of our crude rather than exporting crude, out. But I'm sure, you don't build a refinery and then you intend to, you try to recoup your money right away. It's a long-term investment. It's investment for the future, not something that you just, you build and you recover your own investment within 5 years. It takes time. One of the things that people didn't really notice or realize is that without this refinery, you would have ended up buying dollar at a ridiculous rate, not at 1,470. It's 1,455 today. So it is a major gain. You wouldn't have seen the dollar rate, dropping, and also seeing our foreign reserves going up. And I can assure you, within the next 1 or 2 months, with the new policy of the government supporting the downstream, you see the dollar rate will actually improve a lot. If I have dollars today, I would rather sell than to wait till next 1 month or so. You'll see it. So, question about price. The issue is that when you are looking at what are your neighbors buying today, Nigeria is selling still half of the price of Benin Republic. They are selling at half of the price of all our neighbors. So I think sometimes when you want to determine that, okay, are we selling cheap? Today, gasoline is cheaper in Nigeria than in Saudi Arabia. Today, you can just call anybody in Saudi. He will give you the rate they sell per liter. You convert it through, even with the drop of the dollar rate here, it's still, a little bit cheap, higher than Nigeria. So Nigeria's one is cheaper than most of our neighbors. And if not because of the refinery, I don't think if you will be having this kind of this. That's number one. Number two, I'm sure for some of you that are, there have been opportune to buy new cars, you see that your vehicles will last longer. And then the environment is much, much better, because if you look at 10 years ago, you are not hearing about cases of cancer like today. Okay, so now while you hear about cases of cancer all over the place, is because of all those dirty fuels that we've been importing over so many years. At least we'll be able to address now with quality. So the environment is cleaner. There are still some few of our neighbors that are even importing the most dirtiest fuel, which I believe will try and advise their governments to look at it health-wise. They need to look at the health of their people. Listing outside is secondary to us. We will list maybe, but the main primary issue is for us to list here domestically, so that we give all the Nigerians an opportunity to buy and create, we create value for people, so that, they buy now. And in the next season, you will just depend on your own dividend to be paying for your for their children's school fees, expenses, and whatever. I mean, we want to really make it the golden stock of the exchange. I said earlier on, we'll sell as much as possible, because we don't want to. We don't want people to think that, yes, we have monopolized the market. So even if we are going to monopolize the market, let us all Nigerians gather together and monopolize it. So that's what I did. Yes.